Everybody, it's Omar. It is March 25th, 2019, 6:50 p.m. and I want to make a video real quick, just talk about my watch list for tomorrow and just quickly talk about the plays for today. I didn't advertise the watch list video I made yesterday. I just kind of just posted it and some people saw it. I took a trade today on AMD. I took two trades actually on AMD. So, I didn't have a lot of time to trade, and that sometimes conflicts with my thought process. Usually I like to give stocks some time, but I trade under a lot of duress at work. And these were the lines that I mapped yesterday. Based on Friday's support and resistance levels. Based on what I saw Friday and previous to Friday. And when the market opened today, I actually made a mistake. I actually took the stock. So the market opened and this started to kind of push below 26, 27. And when I saw the ass dip below it, I actually was like debating, should I short? And I pressed the button and I took it short. As soon as I took it short, I set my stop up at the previous day's close price. And it started going down, and then it just ripped up against me, and I got stopped out in 2140, 2141, and I was down. I took a loss. It was just stupid. I should have gave it a couple of seconds, but I'm trading under duress. I'm all eyes are on me, and I'm just it's very stressful to try to trade under those circumstances. But I was lucky enough where the stock started to push up. I try to catch it long because I just saw massive volume coming in, and I missed my first entry at 2346, I think it was. I missed my first entry, and then it broke above. I just wanted to see how I was going to react to this level, and it just clearly broke above it. Once it broke above it, and it's kind of ranging right in here, I went long. I think it was at 2652 or 50, somewhere around there, and I just rode this all the way up. I rode this all the way up, and I had this line mapped, and I was telling people, if you watched the watch list video yesterday, I said, look, this is a big area consolidation, and it may not be able to break it and keep running, so see how it reacts. I said, don't buy, see how it reacts first. Sure enough, I sold right when it broke above it here and pulled back. I sold right in here. And then it went above it, and then I wasn't paying attention to it after that. I was happy because I made my money back, and then I made a nice profit. I went in full size, and then I should have paid attention, because boy did it fucking fall apart. I didn't capitalize on this. I took no trade on this, but what I did capture was so I was watching how it was going to react once it bounced at the previous resistance level, which became, support level, which became resistance. And once I saw it, they couldn't hold this level here, I actually went short. So I shorted it right in here, and I covered, I want to say, where did I cover? I covered, I don't know if, oh, I'm sorry, it was in this moment I actually went short, and I shorted right into this pop, and I covered, I think it was at it broke below 26, and then right when it bounced, I covered right in this candle. I think it was right in here. I covered 26 or 2601. I covered. So I did very well on AMD. When you have the account size and you can take 5,000 share positions, all you need is 20 cents to make $1,000. So, I mean, and when I'm usually at my max, I usually don't trade more than 5,000 shares. Sometimes I do, but generally I try not to. It just really depends. If I had a direct market access broker, I'd probably go a lot, more size. But I'm with E-Trade, and I get scared with the fills and stuff sometimes. So, but when you have massive volume like this, I mean, you get filled instantaneously. The fills are so quick. And sure enough, look what the stock did. It wind up pulling back, right, and bounced right around my key level, and then bounced. So it's all support and resistance, guys. If you look at the stock from a bigger time frame, I'll just move it back. You see, look, it's not rocket science. You see, these are where the stocks pivoted here, All right, and it pivoted, you know, bounced up here, but it pivoted here, and that's when it went on the rip. So I had here, and you can see this is the support level. This is why I mapped it, because this is where it bounced previously. That's it. That's all it is, guys. You don't have to overcomplicate trading. And the lines are like anchors. And now you see everybody on Twitter using lines, but nobody was doing this shit before. I've never watched anybody else do this. I know Madass Trader does it, but he does like lines for every little thing. Like he's not, you know, it not like the way I'm doing it. I think I'm the only person I've ever seen do this. Now everybody's doing it because Bao does it, and he has a big following. Nobody follows me on Twitter, so they don't know who I am. But I've been doing this before anybody. Bao wasn't showing nobody this shit. I've been doing this for almost 2 years. So, you know, don't overcomplicate trading, guys. So, you know, I did well on AMD. I didn't take any other trades. These were all the stocks on my watch list, and if you watch my videos, they all pretty much did what I said. CRLF, it was entering, you know, its all-time high or yearly high. I said, you know, don't buy the, wait to see if it's going to break out, but more than likely it's going to test and fade, and sure enough, that's what it did, and look where it held. This was the level that I mapped yesterday. Go watch the video. CVSI, I said more than likely you're going to see a pullback at the open, find a support level, and then rip, and then retest the high. That's the $6 high. And I told people don't buy the breakout, because this is what happens. Look what happened here. When it finally broke 6, it broke below it, you know. So you want to see it test. When it broke above it again and then pulls back and forms a high low, that's the conviction to go long. And then you risk off the previous level or this level here. And now it's at 627. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. You know, BPT8, SELL, same thing. I told everybody that this was gonna spike and then this was gonna fade, just like I always talk about the short into resistance pattern. If I pull up SEEL real quick, look what, right? Yeah, look what happens, guys. This is a stock. This is a stock that had this big move, right? And it's been selling off, and you know, it had this pop to 7, and then it's been fading, right? So you got all these bag holders here. So every time it pops, people sell into that spike because they're trying to get the hell out. That's what happens here. So look what happened. I mapped these levels, right, yesterday based on what I've seen previously. Okay, look what happens. Stock spikes. I told people in my room to short right into this with this pop, and I don't know if anybody did, but I told them to short because there was resistance over in this level over here. And sure enough, the stock went from 280 to 250. You know, that's 255. You know, 25 cents, almost 30 cents. And then, but what I was telling everybody was, what you're gonna see is a nice spike, and then it's gonna fade. And sure enough, you know, it spikes. It then hit the 326 level, which is what I was expecting it to test, 326, and then collapse. But it got to about 316, and then it kind of faded, and you got this nice little pullback. So just like I talked about in the video, this is the same pattern that Dux and Gratani short BPTH. This doesn't seem like much, but I told everybody in the video that I posted yesterday, go watch it about BPTH. I said it was going to do exactly what it did. It's the same pattern. So what happens is, I had a level mapped here because this is sort of where it bounced. So to me, this was the big area of resistance, but it didn't get that far. But look what happens. The stock pulls back right at the open, finds support here, right? And if you notice, look, there's support right in this level right here. Spikes. This is where you get the spike, and look where it touched. Overhead resistance right here. Touched this overhead resistance right here, and then faded. And it doesn't seem like much, but this was basically 20 bucks, and it came back to 1864, more than a point. Doesn't seem like much, and it had 109,000 shares traded in this 15-minute time frame. So it had the volume. You could have took a few thousand shares, you know, and nobody's paying attention to this, but you can continue to bank. It's consolidating. Watch, it's gonna have another spike and then another tank, and you can keep playing it again and again and again, you know. So, you know, these were the stocks that I was talking about. ZUO, another one that I said, you know, look to see. This was a stock that there was a big fader, and I told everyone, ZUO, you know, because I a lot of times I put stocks that are like holding their highs or had a big gap up and pull back and then rip. This one was just, you know, a stock that just tanked. And sure enough, I said, you know, I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm looking at these key levels, 2028 and 2175. And sure enough, in that first 15 minutes, it couldn't hold 2028. And what I tell people is, let me pull up the 2-minute chart so you can see. What you want to do is, when a stock is breaking down, you don't want to see how it broke below it, but then it ripped up. You know, that's why I tell people don't short the immediate breakdown. Wait for the pop to see. So you see you get the pop and then it fades. Right in this candle, when you see that it's not moving, this is where you then go short, because you see, hey, you know what? You got the breakdown, you got the little pop, it couldn't hold, and then you can short right in here, you know, risking off this. And that's the confirmation. It's like the opposite of not, you know, the breakout. The breakout, I tell people, wait for it to break out, pull back, test it, and then go. Same thing with a breakdown. You want to see it break below, test it, like pop, see if it holds, and then go short. And it went down all the way to 1951. You know, I missed this whole play. I was focused on AMD, and sure enough, it's back up. You know, so, you know, these were the stocks that I called out yesterday. Now for tomorrow, same thing. I'm looking at AMD again. AMD is going to be in play for a while. I think AMD is heading back to, you know, I think that personally it had no reason to be up this high. You know, and this is the daily chart for 1 year. You know, it kind of topped out here, and now it's starting to give back. And you notice that when it has its runs, it gets back. Like when it has its pops, it'll fade. When it has its pops, it gives it a nice fade. I think it's heading, me personally, I think it's heading back to this $21 level. You know, and I think I could see this back at $16, you know, in a few months. You know, so tomorrow, you know, I have my lines mapped. I want to see what's going to happen. You know, I tested this area. It, you know, sold off, pulled back and bounced. So now it's holding. I want to see tomorrow what's it going to do. Is it gonna, you know, retest this 26.27 and then get rejected and continue to fade? Or is it going to break down pre-market and see how it's going to react to 25.31? If it can't hold, you know, you got a lot of range here. The next price channel is right here, 24.45. So we'll see. Maybe it just consolidates tomorrow. We'll see. But, you know, I got my levels mapped to kind of see what it's going to do. All right. So I have that. Next up, CRIS. The reason why I added this ticker, because, you know, it's dog shit, right? And it had its big move. But sometimes what happens is you see how it still hasn't filled the gap completely. It hasn't gotten back to the 139 level. You see how it kind of got here and consolidated. Sometimes what you happen is your pre-market kind of consolidates sideways, and then you get this morning push. So you short into the morning spike, and maybe it may get up to this 203, or maybe it retests this, you know, 229 level. I'm trying to see why I mapped 229 and not why did I get 229? Oh, that's why I got 220, because this low here is, what is this, 202. The high here is 226, 226, 227. You know what? Yeah, I don't know why I got 246. Maybe, oh, I think I know why. I think because on a 5-minute time frame, that's what it was. Yeah. So actually, this is, I just mapped it too high, 227. So let me edit this and put 227. 227. So there we go. All right, that makes more sense. So now I'm expecting a morning push, and then you can short into a spike. So it'll probably test one of these levels and get rejected, and then you spike and you see it fade again. You know, so these are easy patterns that I like to short, and I make nice easy money. You know, so we'll see. Next up, CPRX. CPRX is you know, running. This is at a yearly high. This is the daily chart. You can see it broke out into a daily high. I mean yearly high. This is its yearly high. So we'll see what happens. So, you know, it just kind of ripped. It didn't really have big pullbacks. But what you want to see is, let me pull up on the big chart. I want to see, is it going to wash, or are people going to take profit tomorrow at the open? Is it going to come back down and test one of these key levels? You know, is it going to come back down to the previous day's breakout and then hold and then rip again on it, you know, and then just move higher? Or is it going to hold one of these key levels and bounce? Or is it going to just start fading because it's a bullshit company? I don't know. I don't know any of the fundamentals, but, you know, it's had this big, huge rip. So this is just short squeezes, you know. So maybe tomorrow's the day that it goes red. We'll see. So keep an eye on that. Hopefully you can short it if you find shares. Or dip buy it if it has a massive panic at the open. We'll see. All right. Next up is PGC. So this is a stock that was down, you know, 6%. and you can see it had this massive sell-off at the open, bounced, found support here 1861. So that's how I'm mapping my levels, and tomorrow we'll see which way it wants to go. I mean, this is a bankrupt company. This shit should be going down to zero, but for some reason it's not dying. So what I want to see is tomorrow is going to consolidate, is it going to retest 1860, fade and continue to tank, or is it going to tank at the open and find support 1750 and hold, and then dip by it? So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Next up is SEEL. This was on my watch list yesterday. It's on my watch list again for tomorrow. I'll map that level 315 because this is kind of where it topped out, but 326, it's at 268. So we'll see what's going to happen tomorrow. Is it going to retest? Is it going to break new highs, for the week? And we'll see. I don't think so. I think you'll get a little spike again, and another test, and then another fade. That's my guess, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Hasn't completely died yet. It's had just this one green day. We'll see. Next up, AXSM. This is a stock that has just been on beast mode. If you look at the yearly, and matter of fact, I'm gonna go back. Oops. Let's just go back. I'm going like 20 years. Actually, this stock's been around since 2015, and you can see it actually broke out to all-time highs. So when a stock breaks to all-time highs, you got to pay attention to it. I mean, it's been just running wild. Volume keeps picking up. So it's just squeezing, and it's all these biotechs are all running. As you can see, it's just the momentum sector momentum that's pushing it higher. So I'm gonna look to see how it's gonna react. Is it gonna break to all-time highs and just keep ripping and running, or is it going to fade, find a support level below, hold, and then run, or is it gonna just tank and just have a massive sell-off where people are just gonna take profits because they think the company's full of shit, and but we'll see. You could do your fundamentals and check. So I just mapped my levels. Let me map this as well because this is a key pivot point. But right now it's at 1561. So actually, what's the price? 1630. Yeah, it's at 1634. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Is it gonna keep going? Is it gonna pull back? I'd be curious to see how it responds to this level here, this $15 level, if it holds and then just moves higher. So maybe it might sell off at the open, hold 15, and then move higher. We'll see. Or maybe it just keeps cracking. So we'll see. CVSI, this was on my watch list yesterday. Told everybody exactly what was going to happen. It keeps going. It's moving because, again, sector momentum. So biotech is hot right now, and they're moving the market. So again, it's up. This is a bullshit company. If we go, let me go 1 year, we can see it's just been running. Be careful, that 655 level. That's the next area of resistance. Last time it had this nice push, it hit that and just completely collapsed. Now they're bag holders in all this area, so remember, once it comes up this high, people are gonna be selling. They're trying to get out of their damn position. All them chasers that are bag holding are trying to get out. So expect it to maybe test this area tomorrow and then just completely tank. We'll see tomorrow. Again, it might just pull back at the open, find support on one of these levels, and then run again. Next up is Glue. Glue is here. It's hit this yearly high, so it's easy to. I put these on the watch list because they're simple, right? It's at a yearly high, so you want to see. Let me just eliminate, clear all this other stuff. So you just want to see, how is it going to react to this yearly high? So. Right, so I want to see, is it going to break this 1117 and keep going? But be careful because it might just test it and then just sell off what you want. So these are the key levels that I'm looking at right now. These are where it pivoted the high. This is the low. And then this is sort of where it's right here. So these are the levels that I'm going to be looking to see how they react. Now, remember, you want to see what the next level of resistance above is. So I would go back, maybe more than 1 year, right? Go back, let's say 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. And I can't go back any further. Let's see. Let's go back 10 years. All right, so let's see. And it's at 1117. Man, it hasn't been this high. Yeah, this is the all-time high. So let's see. That might be strong momentum, and it might keep moving. Next up, CURLF. I told everybody that this Don't, you know, don't buy the breakout. Let it break out and then see how it reacts and hold. If it breaks out, pulls back and finds support, then buy. This is why you don't chase. This is what a warrior trading teaches you to do. Chase shit like this and you get stuck holding the bag. But look where it found support. This is the line I mapped yesterday. It's holding 905, so that tells me that if it doesn't break below 905, this could be a potential good buy tomorrow. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to trade. We'll see. But if I do, I may take this for a ride. We'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But if it can't hold 905, I expect this to be a big short. If you can find shares to short of this, this thing will probably give you a point, maybe more. And you know, something like this, you know, you could size in, make some good profits. And last but not least, good old BPTH. You know, again, it's consolidating. It's sideways now. You know, let's pull up the yearly. So let me just zoom in here. So you know, it's consolidating and it's the volume's fading. So you know, this could potentially, you know, give more back. We'll see. I mean, maybe tomorrow again it spikes right at the open real quick, retest this 20, and then just decides to finally crack this 1740 level. We'll see. I'm gonna map this line too, because once it cracks that, then it's good. It's all she wrote. So you know, this is what I'm looking at tomorrow. Obviously, there's probably a lot of other plays. You know, I did this pretty quick, but I would say AMD is probably gonna be the highest, you know, the stock that is traded the most people are going to be involved with tomorrow. You know, so keep an eye on that. But like CURLF, GLUE, GULL, and AXSM, you know, these stocks, watch them because they could be easier plays. All right, so I hope you found this helpful. Let me know what you think. Again, I said it in my video yesterday, I'm looking for a graphic artist who knows how to like create intro, like does like video editing, who helped me create an intro video, outro video, and I want to put a logo together. So in exchange of that, I'll work with you privately and give you some trading coaching. All right, so let me know what you think, and have a great weekend. I'm sorry, have a good evening, guys, and